Woo! Welcome back, traders. We're going to be going over the third video of the day. And this one, we're going to be talking a little bit more informational, a little bit more how to, if you get what I'm saying, if you get what I'm dishing out, right? We're going to be going over AI stock and then also Sofi stock and what led me to enter a position in these stocks. And both trades were highly successful. If you're interested in how to become a trader, this is kind of the video for you, right? So make sure to stick to the end when I go over SoFi. But our first trade, AI stock. AI stock is really taken a beating the last month. And so very similar to GME, I saw an opportunity in gaps, because you have a very large size gap at 22, you have a gap at 28, you have a gap at 30, and it's kind of funny that 28 and 30 align with GameStop's gaps, but it is almost the perfect scenario going into earnings at a low level that you would be silly not to find a position in AI. And taking a zoomed out approach, right? Let's take a little bit zoomed out before we get into the micro. You had a couple different things that led me to believe that AI was seeking to find a rebound here. The first one, very easy to identify, almost smacks you in the face here. You had a touch of bullish divergence on the weekly MACD. So what is that, right? What is bullish divergence? Bullish divergence is when an indicator makes a bullish statement for you while the price makes a bearish statement. So typically, this is a buying opportunity, right? Not financial advice, but when the price went from 13 to pretty much $13, I know it was down here in the after hours, you had a higher high on the weekly MACD, right? And that's what I was looking at. That's what I was identifying as a potential buying opportunity here. That you could buy a stock that was technically stronger but lower in price. And so in doing so, we've already seen a almost $4 return on this stock, an increase in volume on the weekly, and the weekly MACD is now looking to curl and cross to potentially fill this gap all the way to $22. Very significant here. And if you zoom out even more, guys, this is also what got me absolutely jacked, is taking that zoomed out approach as a trader is how I like to chart my stocks first. This is how I like to look at what I'm interested in buying, right? I'm sure everyone and their grandmother are interested in AI right now. It doesn't have to be AI stock, C3 AI, right? But NVIDIA, SoundHound AI, companies like SoFi, right? You can see your very first downtrend. This touch established a resistance trend to be respected from 2020 until now. You touched it, you rejected it, you rejected it, you rejected it, rejected, bounced off of, and went to freaking $46. Came back down, bounced off, went to 30, came back down again, 14, and now we're looking for a potential lower high within this consolidation, right? And so AI still looks bullish to me. You have this gap here. You have multiple gaps at 28 and 30. And if you're able to break this downtrend, guys, you're full sending straight to the 200-day moving average, or EMA, at $36. So there is still so much potential here for AI. And as we get back into the daily here, you can see you're actually crossing significant horizontal resistance here. You are crossing the last stop resistance besides 50-day EMA before just Thanos snapping shorts here and going straight to 2020 or straight to 22 to gap fill on this stock. It looks amazing. And if you go into the 4 hour, it'll tell a little bit better of a picture here that you were pinwheeled, you were sandwiched between the freaking 200-day EMA and the 50. And what happened was you bounced off the 50, ran above the 200, and now you're expecting a golden cross on the 4 hour, guys, as you get a 4 hour MACD cross. So in my eyes, it only makes sense here that you will fill this gap all the way to 22. And I think that this golden cross in the 4-hour is going to compel you to do so. Very exciting stuff, guys. So if you listen to our shout out of AI stock down here, $13.92, during earnings, you are up a significant amount. And I want to say congrats. So although we are not financial advisors, I am not dishing out financial advice. I am trying to show you guys the way that I like to identify stocks, the way that I like to trade, right? I look for momentum swings. I am a momentum trader. So RSI, Relative Strength Index, MACD, and EMAs, those 3 indicators will give you the knowledge you need as a trader, along with other things, right? Like I have a mat on my table that tells me bullish and bearish divergences. I'm sure I can at some point link this down below and you guys can get the same thing because it has been very helpful to me. It tells me candlesticks like inverted hammer candle, dragonfly doji, hammer, bullish engulfing, piercing line, tweezer bottoms, bullish abandoned baby, right? Those are all significant candlesticks that if you learn as a trader, you can identify and profit off of, right? Or identify and avoid these major loss trades. So that is what I have for AI stock. Looks freaking nasty. So thank you guys. I saw a comment in here. Who did it? Somebody commented recently. Shout out to Palm Life Pressure. Thanks, brother. Thanks for the AI stock. Played and made a few bucks. Definitely looking like it's going to go for the gap fill at $22. So thank you for that shout out. I appreciate you greatly for that. Let's get into SoFi though, because SoFi is one of those stocks. It's like it's Palantiring right now. It just cannot stop going up. I regret selling this too early, but honestly, guys, if you dwell in the past, you're going to miss the future. And we had our setup here at $12 is when we identified us starting to create a second shoulder here. And when we saw that, we absolutely full sent this trade. So this is informational for you guys more so you guys can help identify these kinds of trades. I thought that you were creating a bullish, either a bull channel here or some kind of a broadening falling wedge. And typically the profit targets of these broadening falling wedges is you take the bottom of the move to the top of the channel and then you put it to the breakout. And this is quite literally the perfect tap resistance to this channel that we had established. So I had thought, and rightfully so, that this technical confluent move would occur. And it did, right? You topped out, and it'll only make sense here is if you broke from the April low to the second shoulder here at 1280, that you would see a test of this top band. But it just so happened that you had tested it and then you went above, retested it, and then you continued to consolidate between the top of this range and the all-time high. And then you've just been on an absolute mission on SoFi. So one of those stocks where I will always have a positive light on SoFi. We made a great trade on SoFi. But in case you guys didn't know, falling broadening wedge, very, very important, bullish reversal pattern, and very good for you guys to learn the profit target of, right? Take from the bottom to the top and then put it on top of the breakout. That gave you that technical price target, which was significant, right? If you took from our right shoulder profit, I mean, that's almost a 70% move. And if you held all the way through, 132%. That is beautiful. And I just want to say thank you for all the love from that, because that was one of our first trades on this channel. But I want to go a little bit deeper into SoFi, and we can talk a little bit about what you were seeing at the time. Right? So you saw the falling broadening wedge. You saw at the very same time, guys, and this is where my main thesis came from, was you were seeing a test of this golden cross from back here, test of the 50, at the same time as you tested the top of this channel, right? So this is where we were talking about it. And from there, you had nothing but up. It was crazy. This was an insane run that all the stocks had, but particularly SoFi, right? Where you made an inverse head and shoulders. I wonder if I can sketch this out. You made an inverse. So that's shoulder 1, head, shoulder 2, and then the breakout of it, right? So shoulder 1, head, shoulder 2. If you wanted to take the profit target from this, you would take the head to the end of the first shoulder, put it on top of the breakout. So you could put it up here. I'd probably put it right here because that's where your horizontal resistance was at. And it led you to that same 20 to 22 area. So the technical confluence for me was significant here, that you had not only the falling broadening wedge, but you also had an inverse head and shoulders. You had a bounce off the 50-day EMA. You had so much going for SoFi at these levels to tell you that you were going to see some kind of macro breakout. And that's exactly what you saw here. So I've been wanting to do this video for quite some time. This was one of our best trades, one of the most technically confluent trades. So if you guys learned something today from this, that's all I want, is I want you guys to continue to develop your own trading strategies as traders, because I intend to stick around. I'll be here every single day. I know this is my third video of the day, but I'd like to form a movement of educating like-minded retail investors, because we're not going anywhere, and we're going to continue to cover the ups and the downs, the ebbs and the flows of the market, and why that price is responding the way that it is, right? So thank you guys for tuning in. God bless each and every single one of you guys. Thank you for the almost 600 subscribers now. So if you stayed until the end, make sure to slap the subscribe button. That is all I ask of you. Get outside and have a wonderful day, guys. Peace.